Okay, take 19. You guys are getting this video one way or the other. I'm not turning the camera off. Good evening. Cheers. Coffee cup of the day. Stone Wolf. Should be the name of a rock band, right? Okay. Welcome. My name's Jonathan. I was born in 1970, and the rest is mayhem and chaos. Well, this is my setup. This is my little setup with the cheesy lights in the back. This is going to be the first part of a series of collection videos. I couldn't possibly do a 6-hour video, chronicling all of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with just what's on my desk, just stuff I've gotten in the last few months, and stuff I'm getting to know, stuff I'm going over, stuff I'm enjoying right now, things I pulled off the shelf that I want to get to know a little bit better, revisit, stuff I didn't maybe like before and want to give another chance. And then we'll try to keep it to a half hour or so, and then we'll go to this side desk that I have here, and then we'll venture off into the 3-ring circus behind me and see about the rest of that. We have some other recent acquisitions, some unboxings to do along the way that I'll squeeze in here and there. I'd like to thank everybody for their kind words of encouragement. So let's just jump into it. I guess we'll start where everybody else starts, and at the scent of the day. Get my little cloth here. This is my scent of the day. And this is actually a backup bottle. This is Pomerado Hummel. And I bought a second one of these because they're disappearing and they're hard to find, and I really dig it. This is a little bit darker than, say, Versace Versus, but it still has a little bit of that fresh and fruit up top, and then it gets a little bit darker, like something like Pancaldi or Dunhill Blend 30. But I've been thoroughly enjoying that. That's my scent of the day. Usually, what I do is I wear a scent of the day, and then I'll sample a couple of things on my hands. And right now I'm sampling this for the third day in a row. This is a friend of mine, David Fallsberg, has a little company called Phoenicia Parfumes, and this is Real Oud Smoke, and this is pretty sure his latest offering, and it's a little artisanal house. Him and his wife put out this stuff, and he uses real oud, he uses high grade ouds from different regions, and a lot of naturals. I think he's pretty open about using some synthetics, but his stuff is great. I have a bunch of his stuff. Real Oud. I have Talon. I have a couple of Beguiling Glove, which is phenomenal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way across my desk and show you what I've gotten in recently, and what I'm digging. And some of it's new, some of it's old, some niche, some obscure weird shit. So let's get into it. I'm going to put the gas on. I'm not going to give a whole lot about each fragrance. A lot of these you guys know about, and some of them I don't know much about, so we'll see if we can get somewhere in the middle. The first one here is Prince de Galles, or Prince de Galles. This is a Marcel Burr, I believe, and it's kind of a unique fragrance. It's a strange mix of fragrances. I think it's got a pineapple note in the top, grass, hazelnut. It's got vanilla or tonka bean in the base, and it's a strange little fragrance, but it's kind of classy. It's kind of digging that so far. This I just got in yesterday, and this is I don't know if that's upside down. This is Pontacchio 21 by Ferre, Gianfranco Ferre. I got this in because the little 50 ml that I had, kind of felt off, and I had nothing to compare it to, so I just bought another one. And this one smells fantastic. This is a fantastic leather, like that exterior would suggest. Okay, let's just start ripping down the side here. This is a house I've gotten into over the last few months. This is Elite by Flores, and I'm really digging this one. It's probably not my favorite from the house, but it's real good. I'm still getting to know that one. This one everybody knows about. This is Jacques Fat Pour L'Homme, or L'Homme, Pour L'Homme. And for me, this is, man, I dig this. For a designer, this is top notch. This is kind of a, or not kind of, it's really, really near Jubilation 25, which I have back there, and we'll get into that. But for a designer, Jacques Fat just knocks it out of the park. This is something that I've gotten in recently, and this is a kind gift from Anuj, and these bottles are so hard to find. This is Nino Cerruti Pour Homme, and it's a little tester that he kind of rigged for me, just so I can get my nose on it, and I'm so grateful for it. I just recently got in the flanker of it. It's around here somewhere, and I'll yank it out one of these days and show it off. It's called Fair Play. I'll tell you, the older Nino Cerruti, man, they just make some killers. That Nino Cerruti Pour Homme is probably one of the best floral masculines from that area that I've smelled. I would put it up there next to some of the other fragrances coming up here, like Tenere, and this is a recent acquisition. I'm a big fan of Tom Ford, not only what he does with his house, but what he's done with other houses. And this is Tobacco Oud, and I don't know how this has escaped my attention for so long. This is just an amazing fragrance. I don't have to tell you guys about this one, but that's the latest acquisition. Here is a unicorn's unicorn. I think it was only in production for a year. Some of you might know what this is. This is Antaeus Pour Homme Sport Cologne, and this is a tester, and these bad boys are really hard to get. Now I've sampled a lot of the vintage Antaeus, and I have a modern, and this is perfection as far as Antaeus goes. I don't need any other ones now that I have that. Okay, this is a little gift from my friend, the famous YouTuber Duncan. Him and I trade some samples, and sometimes he sends on bottles that just to give me an idea of what something's like. This is Rocco Barocco. Some people say Rocco Barocco, and I think I say it too, but it doesn't make sense. Rocco Barocco. I think it's Rocco. That guy's name is Rocco, right? Rocco Barocco. And this is a pissy little chorus-like affair. I dig it. This is a little partial, but I'll tell you what, I think I might go after a full bottle. Here's one that I've been bowled over by. This was a recommendation by a guy named Remington Brito. And, man, he hit a home run with this one. This is Bogner Deep Forest. I don't know how well you can see that. Bogner Deep Forest. And this was released in '95. And this is, best way to describe it is it's like Polo brought into the 90s, modernized for the 90s market. And if you know what fragrances were like in the 90s, then you'll get what I mean. It's kind of, it has all those remnants of Polo with the pine and things like that, but kind of freshened up for that 90s market. Here is one of, if not the best designer sandalwoods that I've ever come across, and this is Egoist. And I've sampled the modern Egoist, and I have the modern Platinum Egoist, but I didn't understand what was happening until I sampled that. That's just on another level. Okay, let's work our way over here. This one needs no introduction. This is, I think I'll go this way with it. This is gray flannel. Gray flannel is just, it's a vintage kick in the dick. Just oak moss, and it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. But I love it. I tried the modern, and the modern leaves a little something to be desired, but that one is just so heavy and so dense, and maybe 2 sprays and you'll smell that shit until next Tuesday. Okay, this is one that I put up on the shelf a while back and kind of forgot about and dismissed, because this is Aramis New West, by the way. All I got from it when I first got it in was a little bit of semi-sweet, almost childish watermelon. And I put a good dent in it trying to figure out whether I liked it or not. And now that I'm revisiting it, like 6 months on, it still has a little bit of that sweetness, that unique watermelon sweetness. But the woods have come out. It's got a little more complex, a little more masculine. I'm digging this so far. Aramis, I have to say, I have a few modern Aramis, and they take care of their fragrances. It's a big discussion with vintage versus modern, and I love fragrances on both sides of that argument. But I don't know. I can't. Sometimes I get tired of that argument. You like what you like, and who cares about the rest? This is Davidoff by Davidoff. I'm a big fan of lime, and this has a great lime note in it. And I don't know where I heard it, and maybe I'm crazy, but I heard this had tobacco in it, or tobacco leaf, and there's nothing listed, but maybe it's the caraway and the carnation and the patchouli and leather in the base that kind of gets you in that tobacco direction. This is fantastic, and the only thing I'm sorry about is that I bought a smaller bottle and not the bigger one. Okay. I pulled this one out the other day because I was watching a video of a guy named Rafi, and if you haven't had a chance to check that dude's channel out, he puts up some great content. And he was talking about this, and I just pulled it out to revisit it. This is Laura Bigiotti's Roma Uomo. Roma Uomo. And this is really nice. This isn't the vintage, but this is the modern iteration. It's a cheapie, and it's a really nice, mature orange and vanilla. I dig it. If that's an indication of what it's like, the vintage is probably fire. Okay, this one I don't think needs any introduction. This is, I don't know how well you can see that. This is Salvador by Salvador Dali. Look at that bottle. This is one of the best bottles in the game. This is Gerard Anthony, whom I'm a big fan of. And the guy doesn't make bad fragrances. Like I said, I'm just going to power through some of this stuff because this video might be mad long. Okay, here is an obscure fragrance that I got turned on to by my friend Duncan. Again, I'm really a big fan of obscure releases and flankers of flankers and odd stuff that nobody's ever heard of, but Duncan's the king. He comes up with some stuff I've never heard of. Genghis Khan. And it was released in 89, I believe. And it's exactly what you think it might be. It's got a little bit of Drakkar in the opening, a little bit of Pancaldi in the mid, something a little bit darker, like gray flannel. And it's got all of that kind of combined. Really a nifty little fragrance. Okay, this is a cheapie I got turned on to recently by, I don't know, somebody in our group. This is Kingdom by Eldorado, and this is fire. This thing was like $12, and it's like, I don't know how to describe it. This is good. This is good. This is like a niche leather amber, sweet tonka bean balsamic. Man, this thing is fire. El Dorado Kingdom. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Okay, this is a little something I got from my friend Keith over in Malta. Some of you may know him as Manly Sense. This is a Tory Bugatti Eau de Toilette. And look at that bottle. I love this bottle. It's a little frosted glass. Dig the cap. Check out the cap. This is a splash. I wouldn't mind having a bigger bottle. I've like ripped through half of that just trying to get to know it. Don't sleep on a Tory Bugatti. If you come across it, pick it up. It's really good. Another Tom Ford. As I said, I'm a fan, and this guy, he knows something about fragrances. This is, let's try this way. This is Noir Anthracite, and this is a killer fragrance. Killer bottle. This thing brings the boom. It's dark, it's resinous, it's smoky. This is a black suit kind of a night out fragrance. Take no prisoners. That's good stuff right there. I got these two from the same house just because they've been Fragcom darlings forever, and I just skipped over them. I don't know why. One of them I've been impressed with and the other not, and the one I haven't been impressed with is Boucheron. Boucheron is okay, and I see the appeal, but it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't scratch the itch for me. I don't know, it's okay. It's okay. People that like it, good for you. Good on you. This is Jaipur. Now, Jaipur I dig. Jaipur is like an amber kind of a sexy fragrance. For the money, this is like Kingdom. This is like one of those for the money fragrances. Like, you can't beat it for how much I paid for it. I don't even remember how much I paid for it. Might have been free. Somebody might have gave me that. Okay, here is a house that I've been thoroughly impressed with, as impressed as I have been with Bogner. And this is Etienne Aigner. And speaking of Raffi, he's the one I learned how to say this name. I always thought it was Etienne Aigner or Aigner, but it's Etienne Aigner. And this is silver. And this is a sleeper of all sleepers. It's soapy, aldehydic, indolic, a little pissy in the base, kind of gets you in the direction of Koros. And silver is one of those all-time sleepers. Kind of, I would put that in the realm of something like Bogner, Deep Forest. So, all right, where are we? Okay. One of my favorite coffee scents that I've gotten over the last year. This has really turned into a favorite of mine. And this is Carpe Cafe by Gallagher. And this is a killer coffee fragrance. Don't sleep on it. It's Colombian coffee, French vanilla, cypress, myrrh, amber, and sandalwood. And such a great presentation. Look at that bottle and cap. Cap almost weighs as much as the bottle. Daniel he does good things. I haven't ran into a fragrance of his that I haven't at least liked. All right, let's move on. Here's another duo I got from another house I'm just discovering. And this one, everybody knows, so I'm not going to waste too much time on it. This is Ormond Jane, Ormond Man. And sorry about the reflection. Great bottle, great fragrance. It's classy. The black hemlock is a unique little twist. I really like it. However, I don't like it as much as I like this one. And I'm a big fan of Taif Rose. And I've mentioned it a few times, but and I there are a number of rose fragrances in my collection that I dig, but this one has shot up into to become one of my favorites. And this is Taif Elixir. Oh, you can see that. Taif Elixir by Ormond Jane. There it is. This is a killer fragrance. This is one of the better roses I've come across. I have I have some great roses that I'll flash later on, but if you ever get a chance, Ormond Jane's Taif Elixir is a is just a killer. Um, this is another house that I'm just dipping my toe into. Um, this is Eight and Bob's Egypt. This is a really good fragrance. This kind of falls in the same category as Ormond Jane. It's kind of classy, herbal. It's a little boozy. I don't know. Maybe I got it just for the name. I dig everything Egyptian. So I've traveled in the country, and I kind of am attracted to Egyptian stuff. Not that it's Egyptian. I mean, it's got the word Egypt on the front of the bottle. But anyway, so that's neither here nor there. Okay, speaking of coffee fragrances, this is not to be slept on. Well, most of you know about this house, but this house has more than just Ted Lapidus and Ted Lapidus Pour Homme. This is a flanker of Black Soul, and it's called Black Soul Imperial by Ted Lapidus. And great bottle. It's like a frosted glass, and there's like the fragrance notes on the side there. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of small. But don't sleep on this. This is a phenomenal fragrance, and it's one of those for the price kind of bottles. I don't know how you can argue with a coffee fragrance that cost $25. I don't even know. It wasn't 30. I know that. Here's another one that I kind of stumbled onto. Just came out of nowhere. This is called Ghost. I don't know how well you can see that. There you go. This is called Ghost Man, and I don't know a lot about this house. However, what turned me on to it was the fact that it's a Pierre Bourdon creation, and this is really unique. Don't quote me on the notes, but it has some herbal freshness up top. There's a contrast of patchouli and tonka bean, and this is something that this is something that I would think would fit nicely into Histoire de Parfums. This is not a blue bottle line. This would fit nicely into that. That's where I would put that. It's really good, and it's another one of those for the price fragrances. This one needs no introduction. This is Givenchy Gentleman, and this is a leather baseball mitt, sweaty, animalic, growling leather. Really nice. My only regret is that I got this partial. I may have to spring for another bottle down the road. It's really good. In the real cold weather, that thing pops. Okay. We're moving right along. We're almost at the end here. What am I at? 24 minutes. Fucking kicking ass and taking names. All right, this is another gift from my friend Duncan. This is Gaultier 2. Or Duncan? I don't know where I got this. Maybe Duncan. Gaultier 2. This is a killer Chypre. Maybe even a little ambery, a little boozy. Gaultier 2 is a wonderful Chypre. I'm glad he turned me on to that. This is a teakwood fragrance called Inside by Trussardi. I'll get used to this camera eventually. It's a great bottle. Look at the design on the inside and the metal case on the outside. Wish I had the cap. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice, you know. The great, great words of a fragrance guru, Aram, told me. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice the cap. This is Caesar's Man. This is legendary cologne spray, and I'll tell you what, another for the money fragrance. I think this was a Sense of South Jersey recommendation, and I am not upset by that. I don't know if it's in there, but this feels like it has a great lime note. Okay, let's see. We're going to another new house. A lot of new discoveries this year. This is Queer Cuba by Parfums de Nicolai. And this is a really nice leather. However, it's reminding me of something. I can't put my finger on what it reminds me of. It's a really nice leather, but it's not, if I'm honest, as nice as the other Parfum de Nicolai that I got, and that is Bacal leather. This is really nice. It's got a Middle Eastern flair to it. I'm digging it so far. Let's see what's next. I pulled this out just because I wanted to revisit it. This is Animal. Now, I think this is an amber, a boozy amber fragrance. My friend Ramsey, who I live streamed with the other night, and what a pleasure that was. Ramsey's been really supportive. He claims that this reminds him of Amen, or maybe a bargain bin replacement for Amen. But I don't get the correlation. It doesn't have that dusty patchouli tar sweetness that you get with Amen. But I don't know. That's why I pulled it out to kind of revisit it. You know, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. All right, this is another duo I picked up from this house, which I think I maybe only have one other fragrance from this house, and this is Lanvin. This is Oxygen. And this is the masculine version, which is, it's all right. It's nothing to write home to mom about. However, the feminine version of Oxygen by Lanvin is really quite nice. It's a little more complex. It's a little herbal. I'm enjoying this more than the masculine right now. But that could change. Who knows? All right, let's see what's next. Like I said, I'm a big fan of flankers, and this is a flanker of Koros, the King, and this is called Cologne Sport. It's nice. It's only got a touch of the DNA, but I guess the star of the show is the pineapple in the top, and the freshness is great for a hot day. It's nothing to throw a parade about, but it's really good. This, however, is worth a parade, and this is maybe one of the best floral masculines I've ever come across, and this is called Tenere by Paco Rabanne. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the only fragrances ever discontinued by the house. One of their best, discontinued. You tell me how that makes sense. You know, I'm a big fan of Pour Homme, big fan of Calandra, Metal, La Nuit. Paco Rabanne used to do killer fragrances, and this is one of their best, and it's no longer with us, and I'm really happy to have that bottle. Okay, we're kind of circling in for a landing. This is a fragrance, again, that I got from my friend Keith over in Malta, and this is called John White's Cologne. And this is a fantastic leather. There's not a lot written about it, not a lot about the notes. From what I gather, there's only 3 or 4 notes that are kind of publicly known. I want to say sage, myrrh, sandalwood. It's some other dark note, and this kind of Makes me feel like it's an old leather couch or an old leather chair in like a dusty library. Um, this is John White's is a house, a design house, I believe, famous in the 70s in New York City. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's some of the side stuff I read about it. Um, all right, this is one of several Arrogance fragrances that I have, and this is Homo. And this is fantastic, and it's kind of cool that this came with a cap and the atomizer was on the side. For a relatively cheap fragrance, that's kind of a cool little setup that they give you, that atomizer splash option. This is very pissy and indolic and chorus like, if you will. A lot of the Arrogance fragrances are very good. Okay, we're getting down to the end. This is Yoji Om. Yoji Om is another great coffee fragrance. Great bottle. Look at that bottle. Everything's reversed in the camera. So, yeah. So, I got this from our friend Anuj Patel at Enchante, and the dude's the tops, man. He's a goat. It's always a pleasure working with him. He treats me like his only customer, and that's a skill that not a lot of people have. Okay, here we're circling in towards the end. I think this may be the last, so I've saved one of the best for the last. Again, from the house of Etienne Aigner. This is Super Fragrance. This is the big boy bottle. I don't know how well you can see that tag. This is a killer fragrance. I was talking to Ramsey the other day, and he was asking me what I thought Blend 30 was like, and I told him that I thought Blend 30 was more of a forefather of things to come, and that's how I feel about Super Fragrance. It's got you can see its DNA spread over the 80s and 90s. Things like Wall Street, things like KL Ohm, Bois de Portugal, and other stuff like that. Derby, maybe even. This is a unicorn's unicorn, so it's not easy to get, and the prices they're asking for this are redonkulous. But if you ever get a chance, catch a mini or a sample of it. It's so nice, and it's nice to see an origin story of fragrances to come. I dig that kind of stuff. I think that's gonna do it for now. I think I'm at 33 minutes. I'm killing the game. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this top shelf of niche and Atars and Ouds and some of my bigger decants of bottles I can't afford, and I'll save this side table for the next video. Side table has some goodies on it, like this little DRSence, little Portos, and yeah, so we'll break out some goodies over here on this side. Again, I want to thank everybody for their kind words and encouragement and support, and hopefully this turns into a nice little place to come and have a good discussion. So if you have anything to add to what I've done here, anything to teach me, anything to fill me in on, feel free to leave a comment. All right, thank you very much, guys. Have a great day. Stay grateful. Peace.